In 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma held a secret that defied the deeply segregated reality of America. It was the Greenwood District, affectionately known by Booker T. Washington as Black Wall Street. Greenwood was more than just a neighborhood. It was a thriving, self-contained economic powerhouse built by and for Black Americans. In an era of Jim Crow laws, where they were unwelcome in white establishments, the citizens of Greenwood built their own. The district boasted luxury hotels, state-of-the-art movie theaters, 2 newspapers, and highly rated school systems. There were 15 resident doctors, thriving law practices, and a library. It was a community defined by Black excellence, home ownership, and entrepreneurial spirit. Families built generational wealth along Greenwood Avenue. It was a beacon of hope, proving what was possible when a marginalized community was left to prosper. But bordering this prosperity was a white Tulsa simmering with resentment and racial hostility. The tension needed only the smallest spark. That spark came on Memorial Day weekend, May 30th, 1921. A young Black teenager named Dick Rowland, a shoeshiner, entered the Drexel building to use the only restroom available to Black people on the top floor. He entered an elevator operated by Sarah Page, a young white woman. What happened next is lost to history, but the most likely explanation is that Rowland tripped, grabbed Page's arm for balance, and she screamed. Rowland fled in a panic. By the next day, the Tulsa Tribune published a sensationalized, inflammatory news story, and likely an editorial that has since been destroyed, claiming Rowland had assaulted Page. The newspaper practically issued a call to arms. An angry white mob gathered at the courthouse where Rowland was jailed, demanding he be handed over for lynching. Hearing this, a group of Black men, including World War I veterans determined to defend their community, arrived at the courthouse to protect him. At the courthouse, words were exchanged between the white mob and the Black defenders. A struggle over a gun ensued, and a shot rang out. Chaos erupted. The Black defenders retreated toward Greenwood, largely outnumbered as the white mob grew into the thousands. What followed over the night of May 31st and the day of June 1st was not a riot, as it was long called, but a systematic massacre. Local authorities made the catastrophic decision to deputize members of the white mob, giving them weapons and legal cover to attack Greenwood. The violence was total. Machine guns were reportedly fired into residential streets. Eyewitnesses provided harrowing accounts of airplanes flying overhead, dropping turpentine bombs and incendiary devices onto rooftops. Homes were looted and then set ablaze one by one. Families fled in terror, hiding in root cellars or running into the surrounding countryside as their generational wealth turned to ash. By the afternoon of May 31st, martial law was declared, and the National Guard arrived. But their primary action was to round up the Black survivors. Thousands of Greenwood residents, men, women, and children who had just lost everything, were marched at gunpoint and held in internment camps across the city, including the baseball stadium and convention hall. They were only released if a white person vouched for them. Over 35 square blocks of Greenwood were totally destroyed. Over 1,200 homes were burned. Black Wall Street was gone. The official death toll at the time was absurdly listed as roughly 36 people. Historians and contemporary estimates now believe as many as 300 Black citizens were murdered. Their bodies were buried in mass, unmarked graves or dumped into the Arkansas River. Perhaps as devastating as the violence was the conspiracy of silence that followed. No one was ever prosecuted for the murders or the arson. Insurance companies denied claims under riot exclusion clauses. For decades, the event was actively erased from history books, newspapers, and public discourse in Oklahoma. It became a whispered trauma among survivors. Greenwood did rebuild, a testament to unbreakable resilience, but it never fully regained the glory of the pre-1921 era. Today, we are finally confronting the truth of this atrocity. We remember the Greenwood Massacre not just as a moment of horrific destruction, but as a stark reminder of the economic and human cost of systemic racism and the incredible strength of a community that refused to be wiped from history.